Alkistis, we are live.
Woohoo!
How are
Hello
you?
from Athens, Greece.
Yay! Oh my God, so far away. Yeah, it's amazing. The technology can link us to each other. You are on the south tail, right? South tail of Europe. So anyway, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing
Yeah.
good. I feel excited about our interview and ready to go, ready to share our ideas with these people who are watching.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So let me do just a short intro. The longer one is in the description below. This YouTube channel. My name is Ching Juhl. I have been doing this interview. You can call podcast for almost 2 years, and yeah, let me do an intro about Alkistis Agio, and who is a doctor, first of all, as one not not a medical
Doctor
doctor.
philosopher, not doctor, not a medical doctor.
No medical, no, she cannot cut us up. She's one of the world's most inspiring ambassadors of Greek philosophy, and a life coach and trainer to VIPs and top CEOs like Steven Wosniak, the co-founder of Apple, who said, Alkistis, you are a hero to me. I hope you see me as a representative of your book. You are a modern Greek oracle. Oracle. All right, sorry. She is a speaker on many corporate and social events while also hosting her own YouTube channel for over 20 years, bringing relief, wellness, empowerment, and inspiration to over 1.5 million people all over the world. Wow, wow. Amazing. You are
Yes.
amazing. Yes. So tell us, how do we know each other?
Oh, we met on in a wonderful occasion this last autumn, around September, at a film festival here in Greece on the Athens Riviera, beautiful by the sea, organized by Deborah Wooten. And you were teaching, Ching, you were teaching us how to make a movie from an iPhone because you're such a successful documentary maker. And we learned many things from your class. I was inspired by your class. And it's great that we can continue connecting like this.
Yeah, yeah. So, and you are such a quick learner, and although you already have a lot of experience of making videos, but the results of your 1 minute film competition, you won many trophies.
I did. I
Congratulations.
won a lot of awards, as you also
Amazing.
won. And yeah, I was because I had some experience, so I think I had a little head start in front of everyone. But the movie was called Eudaimonia, which means happiness and flourishing in Greek. And it was more like a guided meditation where you visit a beautiful island and you get healed by a Greek goddess. I like to heal people in everything I do, whether it's seminars or coaching or filming. It's all about healing and wellness. I think this is what people need. I need it and others need it because there's so much anxiety and fear. So I like to create a place of healing, a place of calm and peace where people can come to themselves and meet their inner god or goddess, if you like. So
Beautiful, beautiful.
thank
So
you.
tell us a little bit about, I know you were born in Canada and eventually now you live in a town called Saranita, where the
Well,
first
let's
of,
backtrack a little. I was actually born in Greece in
oh my
19.
God. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry, sorry.
I was born in Greece in 1968. I
Okay. Uh-oh.
May
You
68.
show your age now.
I have no problem with my age at all. So my parents were against. There was a dictatorship here in Greece. We had a
Uh-huh,
military junta, a
uh-huh.
dictatorship. So my parents left Greece to escape this dictatorship, and they fled to Canada as political refugees. And so I grew up in Canada as a parent. My
Mhm.
parents, then came back when I was 16. My
Mm,
parents moved back to Greece because the dictatorship had left and there was democracy, and
mm,
we slowly came back to Greece. And long
mm.
story, but
Yeah. Did you
yes.
move to Salonika directly, or you went to a different town first?
No, no. After we came here, I went to I studied here in the high school, an American high school. Then I went to London to study. I went to Paris to work, and Rome for work, and Germany for work, and then I finally came back to Greece to live 2004, around
Mm.
2004. So that's when I moved to the beach in Saronida, near
Wow,
Saronida. Yeah.
it's a beautiful town,
And
and
I'm
there's
never leaving. It's so beautiful here. I mean, I was swimming up until like last week. So I love the quality of life. And now I work from a distance.
uh-huh.
So I have no reason whatsoever to live in the cold country.
Right, right. Now with the technology, you can
Yeah.
do Zoom or you can teach people online, right? All kind of things.
Actually, I've been on Zoom since 2004. Before
Oh,
COVID, before I started my YouTube channel in 2007. I did coaching therapy online with Skype back
uh,
in the day. So
yeah.
I was in this system before COVID, way before COVID. I had learned
Wow.
I wanted to work globally while living in Greece. So it really
Yeah.
had to get into the technology soon.
Yeah, that's
Hated it in
wonderful.
the beginning. I hated all this learning with the machines and the gadgets because I'm a philosopher, I'm a psychologist. I don't I you know, but I had to learn. I had to
Yeah.
learn. So that's and now I'm
Yeah.
so happy I did. I'm so happy I did because now everyone's learning about these things and I'm like, "Oh, I know how to edit videos. I know how
Yeah.
to set up cameras and
Yeah.
films and green screens and I love it."
Yeah, that's wonderful. So check Alkistis YouTube channel, and she has a lot of followers, and she does all kind of work. And you're basically your YouTube channel is very focused, right?
Yes.
To give people ideas or to coach people or giving positive messages, right?
Yeah, it's a wellness channel. It's
Yeah.
all about positive thinking, well, mental health
Hmm.
anyway.
Hmm.
I offer meditations,
Hmm.
guided meditations. I offer interviews, a little like this sometimes with other people. I offer group coaching online. So I use the YouTube channel in many ways, but the result is always about wellness
Mm.
and finding happiness and thriving. It's a support channel, for people who
Yeah.
want inspiration.
Yes, yes. I wanted to share this with our audience. Let me see. I can pull out image, photo, video. Is
Mm.
this the one?
Yeah,
Okay. So shall we play a little bit?
sure.
Okay. So let me make it bigger. All right.
Hello and welcome to Alkistis TV. I'm Alkistis, your host, broadcasting to you from Athens, Greece. I have a passion for helping people transform their fear, frustration, anger, and anxiety into calm, confident, inner freedom. And this is all through the principles and practices of Greek philosophy.
It happens once in a while.
Okay, you can
I
turn it
teach Greek
on.
philosophy
Mm?
in a fun and entertaining way.
So yeah. So check it
Yeah,
out, and
check it out. Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
of
It's
course.
it's wonderful with the what you can do.
Yeah, yeah. So you have a pretty handsome YouTube channel. Can you see it now?
You.
The
Yes,
YouTube
I
channel?
do. I
Yeah.
see it. Yeah.
So you have Damn, 9K subscribers.
Yeah, yeah.
How long?
Nearly
How long does it?
10K.
Yeah, how long does it take you to?
1.5 million views
Oh my
since
god!
2007. It's a
Wow.
lot. It's a
Yeah,
lot. I feel
yeah.
like it's it's wonderful that I can touch so many people with the work, and that's why I offer it for free.
Mhm,
I just it's
mhm,
something. It's like giving. It makes me feel good.
mhm.
I
Yeah,
don't get any money from that. It's
yeah,
you know, but
yeah.
it's promotion. So,
And,
but
and you
and
don't
it's
monetize.
connection.
You're not
Connection.
rich yet for
Not from
YouTube.
that, no, no. From my seminars and online courses,
Uh-huh.
I promote my online course.
Yeah.
That brings in an automatic income, automatic, because
Yeah.
it
That's nice.
just a video course and people read that, and then if they like it, they can join a real group coaching
Yeah.
online.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
good. I'm doing well. I can't complain.
That's great. That's great. So, now not only you're a great speaker, and oh yeah, you also did TEDx talk. So,
TEDx.
what exactly is TED TEDx? I mean, what's the difference between TEDx and TED?
Now, TED is in California.
Uh
It's
huh.
where it was born,
Uh huh.
and TEDx is all over the world.
Okay. Okay.
When they have TED Talks around the world. So
Okay.
it's outside of California. So I went to India
Wow.
actually to do
Wow.
mine in a beautiful place in India. I'm amazed. Yeah, my TEDx talk was on the three golden principles of Greek philosophy, and just say it's my system, my method, the Alkistis method, a method of transforming fear into what I call freedom. I mean, inner freedom. So you free yourself from your fears, from your anxiety, from your frustration with these three simple principles of Greek philosophy.
Yeah. So tell us more about how do you do practice on people?
Okay, so let me, you know what, instead of explaining academically, I just will explain through a little story with Socrates as the main character. So they say that once upon a time, Socrates was walking in the streets and someone ran up to him and said, Master, Master, I have to tell you something about one of your students. And Socrates said, okay, wait a moment though. You have to pass it through three. I want to ask you three questions first. Okay. Is the story, he says, about what you're going to tell me about one of my students, is it true? Are you absolutely sure you're telling me the truth? You have the facts? The guy says, well, I'm not so sure. I heard it from someone who heard it from someone else. The second question, is it kind? Is it something kind about my student? You know, uh, and he said, no, not really. It's kind of mean, gossip. And the third question, he said, is it useful? Is it going to be useful to me to know this story? And the guy said, no, not really. It's not useful at all. So Socrates says, oh, it's not something true. It's not something kind. And it's not something useful. No, I don't want to hear it, what you have to say. So, in this little story, you can see these actual principles in action. Let's analyze it. So, the truth is has to do with integrity. So, whenever you have a problem, you have to ask yourself: is my worry, is my anxiety true? Is this thought that I'm telling myself? Maybe I'm lying to myself. Like we lie a lot to ourselves, Ching. We tell ourselves some stories that are not true, a narrative, the inner narrative. Like we say, oh, she's a hateful person. But you have to ask yourself, is that really true? Is she always hateful? Maybe she's nice sometime. Maybe she's done something nice for some people. A person can't only be something. So, you question your thoughts. You say, is what I'm thinking true? Then you ask, is what I'm thinking kind to myself, to the other people? And lastly, most practically, is it useful to think this thought, or is it just sabotaging me? And usually you'll answer if it's useful or not. So it's a self questioning method. It's a self questioning method. Socrates, this great Greek philosopher, like the Chinese had Confucius, Socrates is our great philosopher, you know, and he offered us a system of self questioning, not believing our thoughts. You see, just because you think a thought, it doesn't mean it's true. You have to stop, say, time out, and ask yourself, am I lying to myself? Maybe I'm dramatizing. Maybe I'm generalizing. Maybe I've taken it too personally. So Greek philosophy really is all about questioning yourself, self questioning, self reflection. And these three questions really make it easier for people like you and me who don't have time to read all the philosophy books. Just a simple self questioning method. Would you like to try it? Would you like me to try a little these three questions on yourself, just to give the audience a feeling of what it's like practically? I know I'm asking a lot because, in a way, it's asking you to expose, but I'd like you to think of something, Ching, perhaps that just like a complaint in your mind, something that is upsetting you recently. Could you think of something like that? Something that may be bothering you lately. And I'd like to ask the audience to join in and let's do the exercise together. I want everyone to just think of something that's like a complaint, something lately that's been going through their mind. How do you feel about that?
So
Can't hear you.
sorry,
Okay.
yeah, and my audio was cut for some reason.
Yeah.
So it's not just the one incident, right? It is some kind of a topic that make you feel unhappy, right?
Okay. What topic would you, let's just choose one so we can
So,
demonstrate.
okay. I am very consistent, and I am basically on time. I really puts me off when people are late or people do not reply my email or text message or whatever. Like for instance, uh someone asked me to do a gig tonight, right? And I have been asked this person, I said, give me a program. So I need to know what do I need to expect when I go to film someone. I like to know and this person just sort of ignore me. So I was
Mhm.
like, okay, I'll find out when I get there, but I am not happy.
And what is the story you're telling yourself? What, in one or two sentences,
Okay.
what's the thought that actually goes through your mind that upsets you?
My thought is that it's not the first time this person did that to me. And before, when this person agreed to do something with me, collaborate, and
Mhm.
then when I emailed to this person, I just don't want to say the sex,
Yeah.
and this person just never replied. So I feel like I'm dealing with a flaky person,
Mm. Does
and I
that happen
yeah,
often?
yeah, it's
Happen
already
often?
second time. It's a business person, it's not a personal
Yeah.
friend. So I don't like that, and I
Right.
don't in general like
Yeah.
people who are not on time.
Right. So we can take that as the sentence, the story. So I hate it that people are unprofessional.
uh,
Should we say like that? They're all
okay.
unprofessional. All these, I'm dealing with unprofessional people
Yeah.
is something that goes through your mind. And What do you think is your greatest fear when you think that thought? What is the fear you think that is behind that thought?
The
Your
f-
own fear
the
about you.
the fear is I cannot get work done if
Okay.
they don't assist me my basic
You're doing
requirement.
very, very good, Ching. I appreciate, first of all, I appreciate you trying out this exercise, your honesty and your candor. It's not easy to open up, especially in front of your audience. So I know your audience appreciates it too. So the deep fear is that I won't be able to get any work done. I won't be able to make progress. We could say that that's a deeper fear underneath. And now we go deeper. And if that happens, if you won't make any progress, then what would be like a bad consequence? What would be a bad result? What's even worse? I'm not making any progress, so this and this bad is going to happen.
Um, they waste my time.
I'm wasting my time. And
Yeah,
if you're wasting your time, then what happens? What's the
I
worst? What drives deeper? What's the fear that they're
uh,
wasting your time, and what's the fear there?
disrespectful.
Okay. And what's the fear there? We're digging. You see, we're digging. We're going deeper. We're going deeper. If that happens,
I'll,
if people
I'm not
disrespect
gonna
you,
deal with kind of person again.
what?
I will not deal with these kind of people.
Okay,
Uh,
so if people disrespect me in my work, then I will have less people to deal with. I won't have anybody to work with. And if you don't have anybody to work with, and if they disrespect you, what does that say about you? What is the deeper fear about you? You see,
uh, me. Um,
maybe may I help? Maybe like something like I'm unworthy,
uh,
because deep down inside, like the biggest fear
uh,
I see through a lot of my clients
uh,
is often that if that happens, then that means that I'm unworthy. I'm
uh,
not worthy.
uh.
Could that be possibly a fear of yours?
They don't take me seriously.
They don't take me seriously. So if they don't take you seriously, what does that mean about you? You see, what would that mean about you? That you are not
Yeah,
worthy
yeah,
of
yeah.
being taken. That's the fear. You see,
Right.
now we caught it. See, I
Yeah.
had to dig deep to the root that
Hmm.
there is a fear that you and many people feel, is that if all that happens, if I lose my money or if people don't respect me, that essentially means, oh my God, that I will be a failure, and that will mean about me, I'm not worthy. That is the core. That is the real essence.
Mm.
So now we take this fear. Okay. Now we know what the fear is. I feel I'm unworthy.
My friend says Drew will never be unworthy. So cute. Thank you so much. We have a lot of
You have your
people.
support. I'm glad. That's very kind.
So,
Exactly. So let's proceed now.
uh,
When you think the thought now, I'm unworthy, how does it make your energy, your how does it make you feel? Does it lower your energy? Does it make you feel sad? The thought, I'm unworthy, what does it do with you?
um,
You think the thought, I'm unworthy.
yeah, just feeling, um, uh, you know, feeling,
Depressed. It lowers,
yeah,
right?
feeling like I'm not important.
Right. And how does that make you feel? The feeling not important, that's a thought. What's
Uh-huh.
the feeling? Is it sadness? Is it loneliness? What's the feeling? Feeling.
Uh, the feeling, neglected.
Okay. And how does that feel? That's neglected. What's the
Neglection.
look, there's only some basic. You're happy or sad,
Oh,
basically.
okay.
What
Yeah.
makes you feel
Oh, yeah. No, I. It makes me unhappy. Definitely.
unhappy?
Yeah.
And okay, that's mentally. And physically, does it give you energy or does it lower your energy?
Definitely lower my energy.
Lowers your
Tense,
energy.
tense, tension.
Okay. Excellent. So now we will pass it through the 3 filters. Now that
Uh-huh.
we know what we're dealing with, the fear is I am unworthy. That's the fear that we are going to transform. So we move to, is that story, is that sentence, I am unworthy, would you say it's true? Are you unworthy? Is it a true thought?
Uh, no.
No, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lie you are telling yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You see,
Mm-hmm.
that's the first filter. Is it true? No, it is not true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we go to the second question. Is that kind? When you think this thought, I'm unworthy, is that something kind you're doing to yourself? To repeat that?
Mm.
The kind to you, to you.
Mm-hmm. Definitely not.
No, it's
Mm.
not a nice thing to do to yourself. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of self-abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of us. Don't worry, you're not alone. Doing this.
Beat
And
myself.
thirdly, the third question, is it useful? Is it useful to have this thought? Is it useful to have this?
Well, no, not useful for me. But
Useful to
I
keep
think
repeating that?
it would be useful if I tell the person who are late, say,
Wait, we're
"Hey,
not at the
don't be
solution yet.
late."
We're not at the solution. Is it useful to you to have the thought, I'm not worthy, I'm
Uh,
afraid, I will not, no, it's not useful,
uh-huh,
obviously.
uh-huh,
So it is not true, it is not kind,
yeah.
and it's not useful.
Mm,
So what can we do with this running narrative, the story? We have to change the story
mm-hmm,
that we are telling ourselves, that you are telling yourself,
mm.
and that our on the audience is. How can we change the narrative? How can we say a new story,
Mm,
a new brainwash? Because you've been brainwashing in a way yourself with a negative story.
mm,
What is another thought you could do to replace the program? It's like a computer program
mm,
running. How can
mm.
we change that program?
Well, I give people all kind of excuses, and so I won't really get too upset. For instance, if this person does not reply my email, I would say maybe she has. Oh well, I I reviewed the sex. Maybe she has 3 emails. Maybe she did not check that email. I mean, sometimes people do. They have so many emails. They get confused. So.
Right. It's not personal.
Mm,
It has nothing to do with me. That's
mm,
her fault. So what you can do is say, I will continue being outreaching to people, and some will, some won't.
mm-hmm,
It's a question of it's like salespeople say, it's a numbers game.
mm-hmm, mm,
Salespeople don't take anything personally. They are
mm,
trained not to take it, because the salespeople, and we're all kind of selling something in a way. We're all trying to sell something, promoting something.
right.
Um, Salespeople, part of the sales training is I take nothing personally.
Mm,
It's their thing.
mm,
I It's a numbers game, you
mm,
know. She can't, someone else will. There's 7 billion people on the planet. I think we can find it's a question of, so it's not a personal thing. It's not because you are unworthy. It's more a reflection on them being unworthy. You know what I mean?
mm,
Unworthy of being interviewed by you, or not the right time. So we
mm,
don't take it personally.
mm,
It's not anything to do with us personally, with
mm,
you personally. So the whole idea is to go from fear to freedom. That's a
mm,
free thought. The thought is, I am worthy.
Mm.
I will continue to reach out, and the right people will be sent to me.
Mm-hmm.
Numbers game.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be your new story, based on 3 sentences. I am worthy. I will attract the right people. It's just a numbers game,
Mm.
for example.
You
Don't
can
I?
you can have a Saturday Night Live. Long time ago, Saturday Night Live, that guy said, "I am beautiful. People like me." And it's something. This guy, guy said, "I'm beautiful." Anyway.
Well, whatever works. I
Uh-huh.
say we're going to tell ourselves some kind of story.
Mm-hmm.
We're always telling ourselves a story. And often it's a lie. It's a
Mm-hmm.
lie. It's a drama. It's over dramatizing, over personalizing. Oh, she said that to me. Oh, so you have to change the story
Mm-hmm.
so that your energy goes up rather than down, because the story, that it's not what happens, but how you interpret what's happening, how we
Mm-hmm.
are interpreting what's happening.
Right.
So this is the
Um,
whole.
I tell you, let's do a quick version, okay? I tell you, last week I went banana. What happened is I'm usually very turned off by bad customer service. So I went to the post office, waited online. Actually, there was no line at the beginning. So try to send something to my son. And the person said this and that, this and that, but she had no smile on her face. She just feel like, just kind of like, not even distancing, almost rude, the way she talks. Anyway,
Mhm,
so she asked me to repackaging or whatever. So I did repackaging, took half
mhm,
hour, and then went back to another person, and she was also kind of rude. And
uh-huh,
then I finally asked for their supervisor, and because there's two other person also left, moaning and whining about how rude they are. So I'm not
mhm,
the only person. So I asked for supervisor, and basically I told the supervisor. But the way I told him, I get more and more agitated, and
mhm,
finally I was really shouting.
mhm,
So I left there and just feeling so terrible.
mhm.
So how do you interpret that? Do I say to myself, oh, he or she is rude, maybe because she has a bad thing happen in her family? Do I always forgive people?
It's not so much about forgiving, but it's both forgiving, the kindness that I said. Is it kind? That's about forgiving, understanding the other person's perspective. That oftentimes people have things that we have no idea about that's troubling them. Everybody carries a burden. So having kinder thoughts, soften your thoughts is good for you. You see, that's the important thing. You're not doing it for the other. You're doing it to protect yourself so that you don't get more irritated. So when you say forgiving, understand that forgiving someone is the most egotistical thing you can do in a good way. Okay.
Mm,
So forgiving, understanding the other person's position is one part of the 3 questions. So
mm.
is it kind? Is it kind that I'm thinking what a, bitch, this other person? Should I think she's a bitch? Or should I just say
Ah,
she it has a huge burden that I don't know about, but there's a burden there that I will not know because I don't know her childhood. I don't know what her boss is like. I don't know what her problems are. But she has something, because a happy person does not behave that like that. A happy person behaves in a polite way, in a kind way. So you already know that, oh my God, she is carrying a huge burden. It's like when a blind person bumps into you, and you see he's blind because he has the white walking stick, you don't say, he's such a jerk, how could he fall on me? You see that he has a handicap, he has a problem. So this is the same way to see other people, that there is something troubling them, some handicap, some burden. And this helps you. It's not about being nice. This is about protecting yourself, because if you see that burden, you will soften up. You will. Now, is it, you also realize that it's not useful to get angry, right? Is it true? Is it kind? Is it useful? When you see yourself, just when you begin to notice the blood rising, because you have to catch it before it takes over, the rage takes over, the anger takes over, you have to catch it. That has to do with mindfulness, awareness. I notice my heart is palpitating. I'm getting sweaty. I notice, and it's not useful. Is this useful, to get angry, to shout, to make a drama? You're not going to get the result you want, are you? I mean, a little anger to show, yes, but not really angry, because when you get angry, your brain stops working. You know that. When you get angry, animal brain takes over, what's called the limbic brain, and the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that's about finding solutions and communicating, and that stops. So you're only hitting yourself when you get angry. So I always say, being kind and being cool, in these situations, you're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for them. It's about protecting yourself.
Wow.
So is this going to be useful? Is it going to be useful to me to start shouting my head off? It's just going to escalate, makes things worse. I know, if I've done this, Ching. Okay. I've gotten angry and I just lose the game completely. You lose everything, So you might get kicked out. I've gotten kicked out of, the post office, especially civil servants. They have a power,
Right.
and they use their power. So there, it pays to be calm, cool, and logical.
Yeah.
And say, how am I going to get what I want? How
Right.
am I going to get the result? I don't care. I'm not doing it for her. I see
Yeah.
she's a handicapped person. She has a handicap. She's blind. She can't see. What am I going to deal with? I have to work through, get what I want.
Usually, in America, I don't know about Greece.
Yeah.
Greece is like government organizations like a DMV,
Yeah.
a Department of Motor Vehicle, immigration
Yeah.
office,
Yeah.
post office, and then what else? A passport application
Yeah.
place. Yeah, these places, they don't treat people very well. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
get,
they feel a sense of power.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
get
they abuse their power sometimes. It depends on the person.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are a
No,
lot of civil
yeah, not
servants
every.
who are
So
good.
when you coach
Mhm,
organizations,
mhm.
those what do you call, very famous organizations?
Corporations,
Yeah.
managers. Mhm.
What what are there? Is it very common for big companies try to make their employees more level-headed, and
Yes,
they
of
hire people like you?
of
S-
course. Big
So
companies want to keep their talent. They want to keep them happy. So, for example, if you have a big lawyer's office with 50 lawyers, all these lawyers, they have a lot of stress. So you may want to hire an in-house coach or an external coach to be available for their mental health and well-being, to give them somewhere to go, to talk, to share their problems, to share their stress. You want to take care of your good employees, right?
Mhm.
You want to build, mental health is so important and just to keep the morale up, the motivation. So you hire someone like me to keep your top talent happy.
Mhm. Yeah,
um,
yeah.
help them deal with the stress,
Uh-huh.
give them some tools for managing their anger,
Mhm.
to process, like you just did, process if they have a difficult client, how to process that client. So, yeah, big companies invest in their people, but also entrepreneurs like you and me. Entrepreneurs are very lonely
Mm,
and they need some support. It's a very lonely job having a tech company. I have a client in New York who has an AI company,
mm,
and it's very lonely at the top, and they need to share and talk about it with
mhm.
someone. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I love helping in this way. I like doing groups. I like one to one. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your background in education, and how did that uh progress to what you do now? Like what
That's a good
your
question. That's a
yeah,
good question.
you study philosophy, right?
I'll tell you. I, I say it in my book as well. What happens is that my father was in a bank. He was working in a bank. He was an economist. And because he had had all these difficulties in life with the leaving Greece as a refugee
Mm,
and then finding a job in Canada with
mm,
many difficulties, he always was telling me to find a secure job. And he said to me, Alkistis, the best thing you can do is work in banking or be a lawyer or a banker or a doctor. And especially he wanted me to become an economist and work
mm,
in a bank
mm,
because he found that that would be security for me,
mm,
right? It makes sense, having gone through all these difficulties himself, he wanted his daughters to have a secure future. So I really wanted to please my father. I didn't want to study it, but I was at a sensitive age. How some daughters, they want to please their father or their mother, please the parents. I was this kind of adolescent. I wanted to please my father. I loved him so much. So I would do anything, and he said, I know you like philosophy and I know you like psychology, but you can always read those books. You can always read philosophy on the side. You should have a secure job. So I followed his advice. I studied banking and finance. I started working in corporate finance in a bank, in a big bank. And after several years, I understood that I hated it. Um, on the outside, I looked so successful. I had a big office. I was making very good money because I had good studies. In London, I had studied in the top Chartered Institute of Bankers, a very prestigious organization. So everybody thought I was happy, but I was miserable. And I think a lot of the people in the audience, they may have a similar, in some part of their life, can identify with living your life to make someone else happy, your parents, your husband, I don't know who, society. So I felt like a prisoner, actually. And I was complaining, I was telling my father, but he would just say, oh, you stick to your job, that's important. So he tried to show understanding, but he was not going to shake on. And so one time I was called in to do a presentation in front of the board of directors of the bank. And I was very nervous because I really, I hated my job. So I wasn't understanding things also. So in this presentation, I
Mm,
made a mess of it, a
mm,
complete mess, and I was so embarrassed, so humiliated in front of all these old men, the
mhm.
bankers, and I did the talk, and at that day I handed in my resignation. I said, I'm never going to be so humiliated again in my life. So I left the bank.
Mm.
And now, did things go better after that? No, they got much worse for me,
Uh-huh.
actually,
Yeah.
because I had no plan. I
Yeah.
went home, I told my father, I left the bank, and we had a huge argument. He actually hit me,
Oh my God.
kind of, with a, anyway, it was a horrible argument, physical, it got physical. And I stormed out of the house. He threw me out of the house in a very Greek drama style. and I just grabbed. I had $1,000. That was my only money, and I left home with only $1,000. I left, never to return for 10 years. I wanted to find myself. I didn't know
Mm,
what I wanted. I was confused.
mm,
So I took this money and I went on a trip, I, backpacking, actually, throughout Turkey because we're in Greece. I went to Turkey
mm,
and I had a whole backpacking experience in Turkey, just looking for who I am, trying to make sense of my life, trying to make a plan. And then I bumped into some Italians and I went to Rome with this group of Italians and I started waitressing in Rome. Waitress. Now
how
from my job at the bank where I was making a lot of money,
yeah,
I was a waitress, you know. So part of myself was like, "Oh my God, what
yeah,
have I done?
yeah,
I
yeah,
left my security. I argued with my father. I left everything. I
mm,
risked it all. And
mm,
look, what am I doing? I'm a waitress here."
yeah,
So it was very difficult. But then I had a stroke of luck. You see
uh-huh,
how luck plays a factor
right,
sometimes.
uh-huh,
I
uh-huh,
was ready to give up. I was ready to go back to Greece. I was just ready to. I was on the bus,
mm,
and I met this woman. Just I talk with people. I'm very
yeah,
social.
yeah,
I said to her. She started telling me her story, and she said, I'm an English teacher. She said to me, and I am leaving Italy. I'm leaving Rome
mm,
because I got married in Canada,
mm,
and I have to replace someone in my job as a
mm,
teacher of English. And she said I have to find someone who's a native English speaker. They don't have to have a diploma in English. They just
mm,
speak English as their first language. And she said, and I told her my story. And she said, well, why don't you replace me? Why don't you become a teacher in English
ah,
in a and so I actually, this is what happened. We switched lives. I took her job the next day on Monday morning. I was on her job. And this was my beginning of teaching. And it was not actually a school, it was a place for professional training so that Italian managers could present in English, so they could, make negotiations in English.
yeah,
So it was like English, but also business English.
uh-huh,
And I
adults,
loved it. That's where I discovered that I loved this job, teaching, training,
mm,
coaching. And slowly I made some money and I paid for university. I got back into university. I got a bachelor in psychology, a master's in psychology, and then a PhD over the years in philosophy. So I finally got what I always wanted, Greek philosophy in terms of practical philosophy, not abstract, this practical philosophy, coaching, psychology. I found myself. It took me 10 years to make a shift, but I did it. And so I think, in a way, my story can inspire some people who
that's a remarkable story. You should
feel.
make a movie. Yeah,
Oh, you
yeah,
know what the best part of the movie is,
yeah,
Ching? The
yeah,
best part is that the Greek guy who I loved in
yeah,
high school, when I went to this American school,
yeah,
I was in love with a guy. When I came back to Greece after the many years of living abroad, he was unmarried and we hooked up together in 2004 and we got married. So my old sweetheart from like high school
wow,
uh, became my husband. So
wow.
I got, in a way, I touch wood, knock on wood. I got the job I always wanted and the guy I always wanted. So it
Lucky
was
you.
really a movie. I
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
crazy. It is like a movie.
yeah. Lucky
I am
you.
lucky. I am blessed. But I
Yeah.
took risks. I took some risks. So I feel very fortunate though.
I think in life, there is one thing I even talked about. I play and do lots of clubhouse. One time I said, actually in my brain for a long time, I said to these people, I said, one needs to willing to quit. Sometimes quitting leads you to more things that you
Yes,
have time to do or you have heart to do.
that's right.
Right.
That's
So
true.
I was looking around like I don't want to talk about myself, but I quit
Please.
a few times. The first quitting is after I graduated from Shanghai as a
Mhm,
music student. I was assigned to play in Shanghai orchestra. In
mhm,
those days, you don't have to audition because
mhm,
they assume if you graduate from conservatory, there's
mhm.
only three violists, by the way.
Uh-huh.
One year only 3% graduate,
I
so
see.
you can get a really great job in China
Yes.
without audition.
Mhm.
So I quit that job. I came to United States, right? That's number one quitting. And
Right.
some other quitting, a lot of relationships, dump boyfriends,
Of
those
course.
are
Of
those are
course.
quitting. But I came to New York. I quit my job of Phoenix Symphony where I played. I
Mhm,
quit and I came with nothing,
mhm.
literally nothing, maybe $1,000 like you are.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I slowly built up what I have now.
Mhm, mhm.
So I can really relate to your risk taking
Right.
spirit, right?
Right.
You're not
Sometimes
settled.
we have to quit
Yeah,
something that other people think, oh, but you're so successful or you're so lucky, you're making some good money. Why are you quitting that?
yeah.
But you know that it's just not right for you, you
Right,
know?
right.
So,
So go back to the question. Originally I said you're doing now, what you're doing is coaching people have positive thinking and well-being,
yeah,
healthy well-being. Does it
yeah.
has anything to do with your philosophy degrees and your
Mhm.
psychology degrees?
Well, yes, because it's both psychology and philosophy, because I mean, like I said, the philosophy is a practical philosophy. Socrates, my main hero, my main guru, if you like, the way Confucius is, I imagine, to the Chinese. Socrates was the greatest philosopher. It was all about, he applied a kind of psychology, a kind of therapy, which is question your thoughts. And this is the basis of modern psychology, especially something called CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. CBT, the originator, Albert Ellis, said that I discovered this method from Socratic thinking, from Socrates. So, in essence, modern CBT comes from Greek philosophy, the Greek philosophy method of self questioning, cross examining.
Hmm.
You see, you
Yeah.
say, so yeah, I'm practicing what I love. And most importantly, it's helping people to help themselves with a practical method.
Mhm.
So I like philosophy for change, applied philosophy.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. I wanted to use this time to thank our audience. Johanna
Yes.
is here. Johanna,
Oh, Johanna,
yeah.
hi.
Hi, Johanna. She didn't have a last name, so I did not recognize first. Wonderful interview, Alkistis. You have such a wonderful, grounded and granding present. Grounded and granding present. Always
Oh,
love your perspective. Yeah.
thank
Got
you.
run, but I am looking forward. Oh, she's probably left already, but I'm looking forward to catching the rest later tonight. I yeah. How do we know Johanna? Johanna went to Greece and attended the festival,
Johanna's
and
an actress, from what I remember.
yeah,
She's an
she's an actress. Yeah, I met Johanna a
Johanna
few times. Or
Kerster or something.
yeah, I met her a few times already in New York, and we went. Uh,
Really, I'm so
yeah,
jealous. I would have loved to
yeah,
be there.
we went to see theaters. We went to have noodles and Chinese food.
I hope to do
Yeah,
that sometime too, Ching, when
yeah.
I come to New York.
Please, I want to thank Shock FinTech. His real name is Mark. He
Mhm.
always supports my channel. He comes to my
Hi, Mark.
yeah interview. Hi, Mark.
Mhm.
And also we have Su Johana. number one, and she always come to my channel also. And then who else? We have Lewis. Lewis is someone I met on Clubhouse, who has a channel called Tech for Your Needs
Oh,
on YouTube. He teaches people how to use technology. Yeah, so thank
technology.
you guys for being here. And yeah, so uh yeah, we're almost at our ending time. Do you have last word for us before we do like a should we do a rapid fire?
Rapid fire, sure. Okay.
All right, so any last word from you? We usually, in
Always question your thoughts if they are true. Always question if what you are thinking is true, or is it a self-deception. I'm not going to say lie, but whatever's making you upset, ask yourself, is this really true, this story, the way I'm saying it? Because it might not be for your benefit to continue thinking that thought. That's my essential message in life.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so rapid fire means a quick question and quick answer.
Okay.
All right. So, what do you do for volunteer work?
I help this organization called Solidarity Now that helps refugees get processed here in Greece, you know, the war refugees. I actually train the volunteers, not the refugees, but I train the volunteers because they need motivation too. So that's very fulfilling work.
Thank you. Are you a dog person or cat person?
I would say a dog person.
What is your junk food? Favorite junk food?
Chips. I love chips and chocolate.
Wait,
I don't think chocolate is junk food. I think chocolate is divine food.
yeah,
But chips,
yeah. Are you a vegetarian?
well, 90%. I eat very little meat. Yeah.
What is your favorite ice cream flavor?
I like, vanilla. I hate to
Me
sound
too.
poor. I
Me
just
too.
like here it's refreshing.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, me too. If you are in New York, if you have a night free, which Broadway show you want to see first?
Oh, I want to see Hamilton. I've heard so much about it. So,
It's half
have you-
price right now. Come here. I think this week in New York is called some kind of a discount arts discount week, and
oh,
because many Broadway is gonna closing very soon, and also for like 10 days is a restaurant week, meaning
oh,
you go to this restaurant you get like some XYZ discounts.
amazing.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to promote restaurant. It's not that much discount, maybe $10-20, but still I think it's a good thing, to
Of
stimulate
course. Well, New York
stimulate.
has all these opportunities.
Yeah,
So rich in
yeah,
culture. It has everything in New York.
yeah. So what is your there's a lot of food. What is your favorite Greek food?
Moussaka. I love moussaka. Moussaka.
Was-
It's God. Oh, it's so decadently good.
Uh, yeah, yeah. So now if you had a chance to go overseas just for fun for 2 months, which country you want to go?
I'd like to go to Latin America, to Brazil, Buenos Aires,
Mm.
South. That's somewhere I haven't been from here. Yeah.
Um, yeah. So if I'll take you to a bar right now, it's a little early, happy hour. Oh no, it's 8:30, 9 o'clock your time. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock your time. So late happy hour. What would you order?
I like, Brandy Alexander. It's very European. I don't think the Americans get what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Brandy Alexander. It's just lovely. It's like
Yeah.
creme. Oh, it's just divine, divine.
So I understand you swim every day. That's so
I
awesome.
do.
Now
Yeah.
that the season is getting colder, what are you gonna do for exercise?
God, I think I'll just do a little Pilates, a lot of walking. Yeah, I just stopped recently. I was swimming up until now, but now I'll give it a break until May. Until May. So I'll do a lot of walking, a lot of Pilates, and like yoga, that kind of thing.
Uh, and you are amazing. You told us your age. Your figure is so good, and you kept a really great.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
far so good.
yeah. Um, Athen.
You too. You too. You're very
Oh,
thin for your age.
thank
Yeah,
you, thank
keeping
you.
well.
When someone go to Athens, what
Mm.
is the first thing they should see?
The Acropolis, the Parthenon. You have to see the Parthenon and to go up on the Parthenon and to have the view from the Parthenon that reaches to the sea, to the seaside. You really
Oh,
see the whole idea because it's not just the Parthenon, it's the landscape. The Parthenon is on a mountain, a
yeah,
small mountain, and you can just see all the way to the Riviera,
uh,
basically. And
yeah,
it's dramatic. It's a dramatic thing. And well, the Parthenon is a magic place. It has a lot of energy for those people who are open to energies, and just a grand, awe-inspiring monument.
yeah.
I go there.
I went there. Maybe I didn't go all the way. I
Yeah,
saw a lot of buildings when I looked down. Like
yeah,
the city has so many houses. They're all
yeah.
very low. It's very
Right.
interesting how you don't have a whole lot of. I mean, Athens doesn't have a whole lot of high rises.
No, no high rise because of the earthquakes. There's a
Oh,
law because the
oh,
earthquakes. They say the buildings should be low. Uh,
oh,
this the main
wow.
reason. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And Nick is here. Hi, Nick.
Hi.
Yeah, my young gun friend. We if you watch my young gun diary. Oh, by the way, you guys, if you haven't watched my young gun diary, go to Tubi. Except the people in Greece. Uh, go to Tubi.com. It's free. Okay. And so if
My
you watch
Yang Gang Diary,
diary, yeah,
where
yeah.
she's part of the gang of Andrew Yang, who ran for
Yeah,
president
yeah. Yeah.
for the Democratic nominee.
But he's not
Uh,
Democrat anymore. He left the
no,
Democrat Party.
what is he now? Independent?
Yeah, he formed a party called Forward.
Forward.
Yeah. So, but even when if you watch my film, you will see he's already mentioned not left, not right, but
But forward. Yeah,
forward.
that's
Yeah,
his
yeah,
motto. I love
yeah,
that. I think
yeah.
it's
So
true.
so
It's great.
he has a party, Forward Party, already reached
Yeah.
50 states. Like
Uh-huh.
they have chapters. So Nick is
Well, things are changing.
yeah.
I think there's a lot of things that are going to be dramatically different, and so it may happen.
Hmm.
If now is the time that something like that
Hmm.
can happen, it's
Right,
conceivable.
right.
So
Yeah, that's wonderful. So actually tonight I have a gig. I'm going to filming an event, and Julian and his wife is getting an award.
really,
Yeah, in a very fancy restaurant called Tawang on the Green.
uh-huh.
It's in Central Park. Yeah, so I'm gonna film them.
What about
I'm
Yana? Did you
huh?
connect with Yana, who is in New York? She runs
No,
a channel.
I have not
The
hooked with her, but it would be
Yeah,
nice. It would
she
be nice.
she runs the New Greek TV channel,
Oh,
NGTV.
okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
you find some collaboration,
Hmm.
possibly. I don't know.
Yeah. No, she's very charismatic.
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 Yeah.
She's also very beautiful, and she did a
Yes.
really good job at the ending of the festival. She was conducting interviews. Remember?
I know. It was
Yeah.
incredible. Her
Yeah.
work was like for CNN. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
she's just top.
she's really good. So
Yeah.
yeah, now let's see, we're almost ending. I have a motto to myself or to
Mhm,
other people
mhm.
is uh, do that one thing.
Do
One
that.
thing, one thing will lead to another, but you
Uh,
have to do that one thing.
just do that one
Yeah,
thing. Move
yeah,
forward.
yeah. Because if you don't do that one thing, you can't do the other, so you
Mm.
have to do something. Yeah, and I host this interview very consistently. Today is, I think, a 109 episode.
Woo! You've been doing
Yeah,
that one thing.
yeah, one thing, yeah, since pandemic starts, so it's less than 2 years. And next Wednesday on January 25th, it's going to be 5 p.m. It's going to be, I will interview a YouTuber, influencer. He
Hmm.
has gazillions of followers, and he's very
Really?
interesting.
What
his
is he
name
talking?
is his name is Colin Michael. He's gonna. We're probably gonna talk a lot about YouTube and how he became a YouTuber, because
Mm-hmm.
he has an interesting story,
Mm-hmm.
very interesting story. Like he gave up something, or yeah, he became a YouTuber, and
Mm-hmm.
then he's doing really good. Yeah. So
Oh,
if
it
you
sounds
guys,
great, and it will
yeah,
bring you many viewers, I'm sure.
yeah, I think so. I think so. There are a lot of people. So uh yeah, anyway, we're actually 1 hour 6 minutes, and thank you so much for staying so late for us, because you're 7 hour ahead of Eastern time.
No
And
problem.
yeah, thank you so
Pleasure.
much.
It was
Yeah,
great to see you again, Ching.
yeah, thank you, thank you.
You
Hope
are
we
a
can.
light
Yeah,
shining in New
thank
York.
you. Yeah, come to New York and we hang out.
I
We'll
will.
eat
I
we'll eat
will.
noodles,
Gonna have
Chinese
moment.
noodles. Okay, so everyone, we are going to end this session and come back next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Okay.
Goodbye, everyone, and thank you for joining.
Hi. Thank you. Take care. You can click leave studio.
Let me see. Sign. Leave studio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
I'll kiss you. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Okay, just want to thank you guys, Mark, Nick, and Lewis, and who else? Oh yeah, sorry, Nick, I didn't see you earlier. Uh, Lewis and Johanna, and also Sue, and who else? And yeah, all of you, thank you so much. Michael was here earlier. Yeah, thank you so much. Some of you, I see you on Clubhouse. Every Friday, I do a room called Smartphone Video Production. We are going to have a 100 episode in 2 weeks. So, yeah, come join us. All right, I'm going to end this episode, and wish me luck tonight for my little gig. Bye now. I'm going to end broadcast.